Yo, what the fuck is up, nerds, internet, GI crew? So TBH here. I'm here with Ethos and JG. Say what up to the people.
Yo,
You first? Yeah. What up?
what's up?
Jesus
What's
Christ,
up? Y'all know who I am, man. Y'all
White
know
people never ready for nothing, cuz.
Fuck, man. I was just trying to be respectful in case Ethos said
I was
something
too. I was
first. I know
was
we
right away.
think we had the same
Sorry,
thought.
no.
It's like
strong.
two niggas who stop at a stop sign and just stare at each other like you go, no, you go.
And today we're going to be doing a State of the Paragon address. Also, just before we started recording, we had the idea of maybe doing like a Paragon podcast, like a podcast strictly dedicated to it, because we do play it a lot whenever they announce new features, kind of share our thoughts. Let us know in the comment section below if you guys would like something like that. Nothing too serious, maybe like a 15 to 30 minute podcast whenever they announce like new crucial features that are going to affect the community in a big way. But on this first episode, we wanted to talk about some of the big design changes that are coming to Paragon. The first being the map. For those of you unaware, that big ass map, it's called Agora, right?
Yeah, Agora.
Yeah, they're getting rid of that totally, right?
Yep,
And-
it's gone. It's gonna be gone. Or yeah, they said they're gonna replace it, not like make an additional map. It's gonna be a replacement.
So it's going to be replaced by a new map. And we got to play it actually a couple months back when we took a trip to North Carolina where Epic Games is located. You guys remember the name of the map? I don't remember the name of it.
We can't say the name of the map.
Oh, okay. Well, we can't say the name
Yeah.
of it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we can't. It's just a new map. We
But
can't.
look, it's a new map. It's a new map.
Yeah,
All right,
A
all right.
smaller
Why
map.
wants to tell us?
Smaller map.
A smaller
Much
map.
smaller.
All right. So JG, what were your thoughts on this new map when we got to play it?
When you first played it, I was like, okay, this feels weird.
Yeah.
It looks it's all bright. It's like super bright, and we didn't understand like the buffs or anything. But a couple of key things that we did notice, like for example, when you go in, I guess that's considered the jungle area. In between each lane, there's like this mist, and then like you can't see inside or out of it. So that's one major change. There's some certain buffs that are on the left and the right side that actually require a little bit of verticality. So I know that was one thing that wasn't taken advantage of like it should have. So it looks like they did take the time to think about that. So that's interesting. So characters like Kalari can pretty much be like OP on this map. Definitely can use that double jump to her advantage. Besides that, the middle lane was interesting. It wasn't a straight line per se, like other MOBAs that you may know, but that was an interesting design change. But other than that, like the flow, it was weird just because we were literally just playing at Agora, and then it's like, all right, well, let's play the new map, and you're running slow as fuck.
Yeah, it's hella slow.
Like
Which we'll get into in a second. I just wanted to talk about the actual design of the map. I think what threw me off is like there's a lot more elevation in the map. There were a lot of going up and down like in various different areas, and also the what was it? What are those? The hidden pool areas? What are those things called?
You could call them jungle pads or something like that. That's basically what they are.
Yeah, y'all know before you play Paragons, the ones where the little pools, the purple pools that make you invisible. Like we didn't know where
Shadow
those were.
Shadow
pad.
Plane.
Shadow
or
Realm.
whatever.
Shadow Realm. Yeah, we'll call it the Shadow.
Yeah, we'll
Realm.
call them the Shadow Realm. Yeah.
We didn't know where they were at, so like when we were playing it, it kind of threw me off. But what did you think, Ethos?
Like JG said, playing it after playing Agora for so long was just frustrating. It was just like everything was slowed down to a crawl. I just felt so slow, so sluggish. It reminded me of, remember when we first started playing Paragon? We felt it was really, really sluggish, really slow.
I thought we
It
was
felt
talking
like
about
that,
the fucking
you know?
map, and y'all keep talking about the pace. We might as well just
Sorry.
get into
Well,
it.
Sorry.
I mean, it's because of the map, but I mean, I do agree.
But I didn't
like,
even give the introduction because for some of those, the people listening, they might not even understand what you're talking about with the pace.
Okay,
Like,
okay,
My
screw
bad, my bad.
that. Yeah, okay, screw that. Then the map, it was a very early, like just an idea of the flow of the map more than just like how it visually looked. It looked nice, but they obviously didn't have all the pretty stuff in it yet. It worked. It definitely, like you said, like people who are good at elevation, so Hautzer, Kalari. Who else has good elevation? Anybody who has like a blink, like they're gonna be really
It's
good
like
on this map.
Decker for maybe Decker.
Decker is going to be pretty good with her all. Feng Mao's going to be able to get a lot of flanking in. I think junglers are going to have a ball with it. Junglers are going to feel way
I think
more
wards are
powerful.
going to be very important on this map because one thing I noticed is like from the time you notice you getting ganked, you're already dead because like the like each lane in the map, they're very tight corridors with a lot of elevation. As soon as somebody comes from that left or the right, you're pretty much screwed if you didn't have a ward and you didn't know ahead of time.
Right, exactly.
We can move into now because of the new pace of the game, and that's the main reason you're going to be screwed. So what they're doing is they're removing the travel system completely in the game, which is, for when you're not in combat and you start running really fast. They're getting rid of that fast pace of the game, and they're making it more like a traditional MOBA where you're just going to have a one set pace in the game, and if you're not warded up and you get ganked, you're done. But that also means people aren't gonna be able to travel lane to lane without there being any type of what's the word I'm looking for, consequence, because you can get your tower taken. It's a way, I guess, they're trying to prevent the death ball, because that's one of the main problems with Paragon, people just stuffing one lane and there not being any type of repercussion for leaving a lane open, because one person can't push a lane by themselves with just the minions. But what do you think of the pace, Jay? The new pace?
Again, going back to the whole, we were playing on Agora, then we moved to this. It's definitely gonna take a lot to get used to. I did notice that easily it was easier to get out of harm's way, because when someone is in travel mode and you're not, like, you're basically dead unless you can defend yourself. But if a hero actually has an escape, you can actually use the escape to your advantage and not have to worry about somebody still running up on you. So I did like that aspect. But it was just I gotta get used to it, because it's gonna be a very, very hard transition.
Well, let me ask y'all.
But they're trying to make it to the traditional MOBA, so I totally understand.
Did y'all want the travel system removed? Were y'all okay with this design choice?
I'm conflicted.
I wanted some modifications to the travel system, but I kind of liked it, to be honest.
I thought the travel system was what made Paragon unique. I didn't really like the fact that they removed it. I was actually for them bringing back the what was it called when you got hit? The rooting. I feel like that completely solved the problem, because then you can't just be running up on people without getting popped, especially if they have a shooter on them. I feel like they should have just brought that back. And then also they recently made that I feel like the pacing is fine with the recent update that they reduced the speed on, and then just add the rooting in the game. I feel like that could have solved the issue. I feel like Paragon's biggest issue right now is education and the community actually understanding how to play the game. What about you?
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing. Like when we were talking with them, was like, that's like the biggest conflict of the game right now, is just deciding what, like, do we remove travel mode? Do we modify it? Like, I personally, even when I first started playing the game, I was personally recommending that they had switched to more like a sprint, like in first person shoot, or like just shooters. Like, since we all played Halo 5, you know how they have that momentum type of idea where it's like, if you keep running, it's going to speed, you're going to get faster, but there's only a point, and then when you get hit or something like that, you get cut off. Yeah. It's like, I wanted something like that for
real life running,
system.
Accelerate, real life acceleration.
Yeah, you keep moving, you're gonna get momentum, you're gonna be faster. But the moment someone hits you or knocks you out, your momentum's gonna get cut. I wish it was like that, which it kind of was when they got rid of the root. But like, it's like what you say. It's like when people just bum rush your whole lane. What can you do? Like, okay, you slowed them down, but I think the biggest problem was, and I don't even think it's the running. I think it was the wards couldn't lock on somebody until they were already like in range. Like, the range the wards had on seeing somebody, by the time a ward pinged you to let you know someone was in your area, and the time it would take you to get into travel mode in order to escape, they're already in your face. I think like that was definitely.
Yeah, I feel like also because the game is so fast paced, they could have supplemented the wards with a bigger notification. I would have preferred something on the screen saying the ward detected an enemy. Like, pop up on my screen for like a brief second, because it's so fast. It's like you said, you found out the hard way when I was bitching about the shit, and you finally had 5 people in your lane. The wards wasn't doing nothing for you. They were for you, was it, Etho?
No.
Another problem with the wards, like, if you have too many wards, it's also hard to really pay attention to, is it someone in my lane? Is it someone in the middle lane? Yeah, you just constantly hear it. So, and then if there are like multiple enemies, then it gets even worse.
And this is why I kept bothering them about it when we were there. One of the biggest things I think, like, we forget about that's missing in Paragon is, if you think about it, there's no, and I don't mean voice chat and as in voice, there's no audio cues of any of the heroes. Like, since the heroes don't talk yet, like in like how they do in like League and other MOBAs, a lot of the time, like, they would make audio cues to like when somebody's being attacked or somebody's being injured or when they have their ultimate or something like that. But because there's no sound design, you can't get audio cues of what's going on. Like, you know how in Overwatch, when someone ults, somebody ulted. Like, there's a visual, there's an audio cue. Like,
that's will prevail.
Right. Like, when you hear straight from above, it's time to hide. When you hear it's high noon, it's time to hide. But like, you don't get any of those audio cues in Paragon. So, and I think like hearing, like I don't even think it's like a crutch. It's like, you know, you're using all your senses in order for you to do good. So I feel like that's what I feel like they need to prioritize the voice. And I know they're slowly adding in some voice acting, but I wish they prioritize it faster than what they've been doing it. But that's just a personal grievance I have.
Yeah, it's just at a point where, even though I do like travel mode, and again, that is what makes Paragon unique from other MOBAs. It's at a point right now where I feel like they were just sick of it. They were just sick of the community complaining about it, and they just kept trying different modifications, and just nothing was really.
You think they're listening too much?
Yes and no. I just feel like with this whole meta that everyone has been doing with the whole death balling thing, that they just kept trying to bring it out, but it never worked. It never worked. People still found a way to successfully death ball, so they were just like, all right, screw it. We're just gonna make a whole new map, and we're just gonna remove travel mode for good because it's not working. I feel like it was too much of a headache for them to do.
My suggestion was bring the root back, but then also like they should code the game to where it detects if 3 or more people are in a single lane, then every other lane's minion should get a buff. Maybe transform them temporarily into super minions or something like that. Like there has to be, the biggest problem is there's no consequence for shifting lane to lane.
Right.
And I feel like that's the biggest. It's like that's the thing they haven't addressed. They need to add some type of consequence for moving lane to lane so that it's like you can take that risk, but then there's also a risk for leaving your lane open because I don't know. That was the biggest thing. It's like you got somebody you got the whole team moving to the left side of the map, and then the right side and in the mid, they're trying to push it, but one person isn't strong enough to do that. And I felt like they should just give a super buff to like the minions since they want to do things like that. But let's talk about the actual new character that they just announced. His name is Kwang. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Kwang, Wong, yeah.
Kwang Kwang, yeah.
Hong Kong Fooey, true.
King Kong, yeah, King Kong.
That's racist.
Well, they should have named him that, huh?
So he is a martial artist with a sword and all these like electric abilities. We actually got a chance to play him at Epic Games, a very early build. He didn't even have like the purple like scarves, and like his color wasn't.
No texturing.
He was just a gray blob with a sword, basically. What did you think of Kwang when we got to play him, or Kwang with Ethos?
I'm not gonna lie, I was ass with him. I couldn't figure it out because at that time they hadn't had the animation to let you know the sword was out. So when you fire the sword, he still had a sword in his hand. So I died so many times figuring out like why the hell can I not melee attack? And
you're supposed to teleport, I think.
Yeah, you're supposed to teleport. You got to recall the sword. And I was like, there's no visual animation saying that hey, your sword's gone. And it's like you remind yourself. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, that's probably gonna be fixed. I built a lifesteal type of build with him, which I made him like a sustain type of character, and I mean it worked. So I mean that was pretty cool.
Okay. What about you, Jay?
We've seen some people play with him that were absolutely destroying. Like it was weird because he was so broken because he wasn't finished. But I liked him though. I just I'm ready to actually play with him in this finished build because like what me Ethos mentioned with the you not even knowing that the sword was out of your hand and you were like trying to actually attack her, like, well, what the hell's going on? Why am I dying? Like it was just a stress to play with, but it was fun though. I like melee characters, so I'm ready to play with him.
Yeah, that teleporting thing like threw me off because the animation wasn't filled. But I do remember his ult being powerful. I remember getting a couple kills with that. I'm curious to see in the final build of Kwang. Did they fix that sword animation? Because it was weird how he was swinging his sword. It was kind of like
they did.
You know when people jump once they skip rope and like they stop jumping and then they start twirling it side to side. That's kind of how like he would swing his sword. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was like a diagonal motion, but it was continuous. So like that's all he did. Like he had no other motion to him, like no horizontal motions. It was just all vertical.
Yeah, the hitbox on that confused me. So I was like, I'm curious to see if they address that and make it a little bit more clear as far as where you're swinging at, because that shit was weird.
Right.
Like yeah, it was actually like you couldn't even get any confirms, no hit confirms when you were actually hitting somebody.
True. But overall, I think he has potential. He looks cool. Where do you think he fits in as far as the meta on the roster? Do you think he'll be a go-to character for the community?
Yeah. Get ready for another team of the Immortals.
Oh shit!
What is his role? I didn't.
Fighter. He's a fighter. Tank. You can make him a tank. You can make him a fighter. There's a lot of things you could do with him. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, because he has order as a.
Yeah,
One
and
is a
orders a lot of defensive buffing and stuff like that, and like getting rid of crowd control effects. So he's gonna be a monster if you have the right type of cards to play him. Like I saw some people doing like a shield thing because he has a shield, doesn't he? Like as one of his abilities, like he'll gain a shield. I'm pretty sure.
Remember.
It's one of the, it's like a combo he does, and he'll like get a shield, like a temporary shield. And I saw some people like building off of that shield and like scaling it and making it like ridiculously huge. And then they did one for their allies. So basically, he would like throw the sword out, he would stun them, so then the enemy can't escape. And then Steel would ult in, and then Narbash would ult in. Remember that? And they just kept wrecking us doing that. So like getting caught by the sword was pretty much a death sentence.
Okay. And when is he comes out tomorrow, I think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure tomorrow.
All right, because
Tomorrow
we're
or
recording
next
this on Monday, October 3rd. So yeah, the 4th he should be out. By the
They
time
did
this
the dev
video's
thing
up.
today.
The
Yeah.
death what?
The dev
dev stream.
Oh yeah, I didn't get the chance to catch it. I saw it on my timeline, but I didn't watch it. So last piece of thing that we want to talk about. Let's do a state of the Paragon address. JG, what do you feel like Epic Games could improve on going into the future? Paragon likes, dislikes. Go ahead.
They definitely should have a sort of training system. Like I feel like at this point, maybe you should like make people just go into the AI mode just to play the game. Like I understand the visual cues. I do feel like that's a good thing, but people ignore them. People don't even try. I feel like you shouldn't just be forced to play. They should definitely make you do that. Other than that, I feel like definitely they should not listen as much to the community, because the community will never ever know what they want. They're going to always be divided. But the major thing, because this new map is going to be a major change, I feel like it's going to divide a lot of people. So I hope that the game can still be successful out of this, because I know a lot of people probably, when they heard this news, they're like, "Oh, I'm not even going to try it. I don't even want to try." So, I mean, we heard about some of the changes that they're going to do to try to entice people to play the new map, which we can't talk about right now. But I hope that people can actually, get an open mind and try it out, just because they're going to take away travel mode, period. But other than that, we just have to definitely make sure that the community is in check and don't listen to every single person that puts a Reddit post in the Reddit.
I feel like they should make it mandatory. Like, if you can't beat the bots in a game, then you shouldn't be allowed in PvP. Because I like it sounds funny, but it's like I've like we were saying, I was saying the other day, like I feel like I haven't even won like 10 games since the game went into open beta. We used to dominate when it was in fucking closed alpha, because it was majority PC players. It was a more knowledgeable playership or community, and it's like once it went into open beta and it became 80% PS4 players. That's what they said, right, at Epic?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, it's a lot of PS4 players.
80% of the Paragon community is on PS4. Once it became majority PS4, it's like I can't win anymore. Like, these randoms are ridiculous, and it's like I feel like a lot of them cannot beat them in bots. And also, I feel like with the whole bots versus the AI situation, I feel like they should up the difficulty. Because when we were at Epic Games, when I was waiting for my turn to go on stream and play what was it, the European team? It was North America versus Europe. They had us waiting by playing a game versus the AI, and that was the first time I ever played against the AI with like my eight days on the game. And like I got like 3 kills within the first minute, because like the AI within the first minute, they all, like 3 dudes rushed my tower and they were trying to kill me, and the tower just killed all 3 of them while I was attacking. I was like, wow. I was like, no wonder the community is so terrible. Like, they gotta buff the IQ of the AI, because that makes people think they're better than they are, and that AI is terrible. Ethos, what do you think about Paragon as a whole right now?
I agree. I mean, I've had to take long extended breaks from it, from catching so much just retardation. I get frustrated by the people who play. I just get frustrated by the way people play. It's just frustrating right now, and it's not fun to play. Like, I'll play it simply because I'm a graphics whore, so I love looking at how beautiful the game is. I can appreciate your game's design and stuff like that, but it's like, at the end of the day, it's the community is going to either make the game great or it's going to screw the game up. And I mean, like, the community members we met, like, most of them was pretty cool, but I think like what TVA said, like the overarching PS4 fans, like, and that's not to say that all console players suck, but it's a bigger market that doesn't have, you know, that knowledge of mobile. Like MOBA's is new concept to a lot of console gamers, and I think the biggest thing you need to do is, honestly, I think you guys might want to up the rank mode, getting that in, because I feel like if you guys get the rank mode set up, you can what's that shit called? You can remove the whole, if you group as a team with 4 people or 5 people, you have to play with a group of 4 to 5 people, and like that gives you like it's not fun to play with your friends. It's really not. I'd rather play solo just so I can have a chance of winning rather than I would play with my friends, because I know if I play with my friends, I can't relax, I can't have fun. It's like constant sweaty tryhards. So I'd rather there be a rank mode so that they can get siphoned into the rank like a competitive mode like Overwatch does, and let all like quick play be like just for fun, relaxing and stuff like that. The casuals, basically.
That's real. That's real. That's real. So hopefully they listen to some of our suggestions. I would just like to say as my last thing, I think I told y'all, but like I put a video together on my personal channel. It was called The Lost Tapes, and like half the clips were of us playing Paragon, and a lot of those clips were really old. They were like from the closed alpha. Like I would just like shadow play like the last 5 minutes when something funny or real cool would happen, and then like you listen to some of the newer footage that we have, and it's just like we were having so much fun in the closed alpha. And it's like once it went to open beta, it's like the game legit, and this is why I haven't played it like in a week and a half, like 2 weeks. Like the game legit stresses me out. And it's not the game, it's the community is just absolutely terrible. It's like it's just not as fun anymore. And I think for this game to have longevity, they're gonna have to do something. They really got to push education, because it attracts new people. I don't even want to blame it on the PS4 players completely. Like they are a main part of the problem, but I think the main problem is Paragon is such a beautiful game that attracts people who never played a mobile before. Because I'm gonna be honest, like one of the main reasons I never played League of Legends at first is because I thought like graphically it was just ugly and unappealing, and I thought Smite was a better looking game, so I gave it a chance. That's the truth. And then eventually I tried League and Heroes of the Storm and Crisis Infinite, whatever that shit was, the
Infinite
DC
Warfare,
one. Yeah.
rest in peace.
yeah, that was I like that MOBA. I ended up trying all of them because I actually enjoyed the gameplay and the design. I was like, okay, I understand why. But I feel like a lot of people are being drawn into Paragon because it's graphically a beautiful game. That Unreal Engine is doing its thing, but like that's not what's going to sustain a community. Beautiful graphics. They really got to do something to educate the people. And
yeah, because you have people out here still thinking that Paragon is a shooter, and you're comparing it to Overwatch, and we've been telling y'all a million times. No,
I literally
game.
I'm not gonna say what channel, but it was a big YouTube channel.
No, say it.
It was even before. No, it was even before that though. It was even before we just heard what TVA said today. Yeah.
All right, I'll say it was Game Ranks. I love their channel, and they made a video top 10 free games of 2016, and their number 4 was Paragon. And he said it in the video. Paragon is a shooter that feels like it's like Overwatch. And I'm like, what? And that's not the first YouTuber. I forgot what other big YouTuber said.
There's another one who did it. There's a couple big YouTubers who just they were trying to cash in on the
hype of Paragon.
And IGN said it, the hype of Epic Games' new game, and they just immediately said it's a hero shooter. I thought it was a hero shooter before you guys like revealed the gameplay. Like I was just off the teasers. I was like, oh, this is a hero shooter, and then I saw the gameplay. I was like, oh no, this is a MOBA.
Yeah,
so,
it's a MOBA.
It's not your fault. You guys have been clear. I can't even blame y'all because you guys have been clear. No, it's not a hero shooter.
But when influential people say stuff like that, that influences the community, because then that new guy's gonna come in. It's like, oh, this looks like a good shooter. And he's gonna come in, and with that travel system, he's gonna play it like it's a shooter. And then you got this dude, and then there's no voice chat, so we can't communicate and teach these people how to play the game. That's another big problem that they need to add. But hopefully y'all listen. Those are our thoughts on the new map and the new pace and character that are coming to Paragon. I would say, people listening to this, let us know in the comment section what you guys thought. As you can tell, we do play a lot of Paragon, although we haven't been playing much recently. But we're gonna see what happens with this new update. We do play. I think I got like
we play every update. Every update
I got like 8 days on the games. We played it a lot. So let us know what you guys think. You guys want to see a Paragon podcast from us? I called it episode 1 at the beginning. Call it like episode 0. We'll call this episode 0. This is like the pilot episode. Let us know in the comment section below. We're gonna highlight y'all later. Bye.